Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is the Tattoed Tarot and today is going to be a really juicy reading and it's going to be the appearance of your forever person. So I've just posted up the reading for the personality and the characteristics of your forever person, but today we're going to be looking solely at their appearance. So we have one of three piles to choose from today. We have number 1, Musing Right Along, number 18. We have number 2, The Dude Abides, number 20. And number 3, Time to Fly, 44. So take a second to decide which pile that you would like to choose from, and I will see you at your reading. Hello there, pile number 1. This is going to be your reading of your forever person, the appearance of your forever person. So this is the cards that came out for you today. Just like to take a second to have an inhale and a big exhale. Whatever weight or anything that you've been carrying today or that you've got ahead of you, let's just sink into this moment. Let's really channel these energies here. So if you picked the Musing Right Along, this is going to be the appearance of your forever person. This isn't just a future spouse reading, the next person that you're going to be with. This is someone who you have the potential to marry. So again, if this doesn't resonate or it's just not feeling like someone who you would want to be with or someone who you would be even attracted to, then just don't take it. It might not be your reading, your pile, or you can always pick another one of my piles. So we're going to start off by reading the Tarot and the Oracle, and then we are going to finish this reading by looking at some more specifics. So for your person, pile number 1, I feel like your person, there might be something about your person that is quite veiled. There is something here with the moon energy. Now the moon can be a bit of a confusing energy. It can also be it rules Pisces, which rules illusions, as it rules the 12th house in astrology. So there's something about your person that might be hidden or veiled at first. Like there's something about this person that you just didn't expect underneath the surface. Maybe something that not everybody knows about them, or that not something that you wouldn't expect about them. For example, if this is someone who always wears baggy clothing, then you might not realize that underneath they might have abs. I'm not saying that they do. We haven't got that far into the reading yet, but there is something unexpected about this person's appearance that almost feels hidden and veiled. I feel like in terms of their appearance, they always look calm. They look calm with the meditation here. There might be something very peaceful about them. Even with the moon, think of how at night time, well, most of the time, it's pretty quiet. The moon is out, it's dark. You might not hear anything but the birds chirping along every so often, or the crickets, or wherever it is that you live. It's a very quiet, peaceful time, the night time, and especially paired with the meditation. There's something very Piscean about their energy, very 12th house, very dreamlike. I feel like there is something very dreamlike about this person. They might have dreamy eyes, or they might always look like they're daydreaming, especially with the Musing Right Along card. This is a card of an artist, a muse. This is the type of person that people would paint, or it's giving like an artistic energy to your person. So they might look very dreamy or very soulful. There's something deeper going on beyond the surface. It's almost as like they appear or look like they are always engaged within an inner world, a rich inner world within. There's something very Venusian about this person, especially here with the bromance, the Venus in Taurus, especially if it's sitting in its natural sign, the house of Taurus, the second house. There's something very ethereal about them and very Venusian, Aphrodite even, the Venus is linked to Aphrodite, so there might be something about them that's just very almost soft and feminine in a way, especially with the Pisces energy here in the moon and the 12th house. Pisces is known, especially like Pisces rising, for having a smaller, daintier frame, particularly for a female, but even for a male. It can speak of like having someone with soft edges, like soft skin, soft edges, something very ethereal or fairy-like or dainty about them. Think of Pisces ruling over the water. Water is very fluid. So there is something very fluid about their appearance, whether that is that they have really soft, subtle skin, very clear skin. There is something perhaps soft in their appearance, like soft eyes, something that you would want to protect. Naturally you are going to want to protect this, I feel. But even in their appearance, they seem dreamlike or in another world. Or perhaps like they're always deep within themselves, as in they're always being introspective or retrospective. There's something very quiet and calm about this person, especially with the Six of Swords. Now the Six of Swords is someone, well, traditionally in tarot, The Six of Swords talks about transitioning towards calmer waters. And again, on this card, traditionally, this is a different deck, but even in the Rider-Waite and even in this deck, they are on a boat sailing across water, and it's a calm water. It talks about the calm after a storm. So I feel like in their whole demeanour and the way that they carry themselves is very calm, very soft, very earthy. It's very linked to Aphrodite. I feel like even in their movement, there is something fluid about their movements. So the way that they might speak with their hands, or they might walk in a very fluid, almost ethereal way, as if they're like gravitating across when they're walking. Again, there's something very rich and abundant, especially about their inner world. And you might not see it on the surface. The moon talks about things coming to light. It can talk about lies and deceit. Now, I'm not saying that this person is a liar or deceitful in any kind of way, but there is something about their appearance that might be deceptive at first. Because especially if you've already seen the forever person personality, perhaps their personality doesn't quite align with their appearance, like they look a certain way, but actually when you get to know them, they are quite different on the inside, and you realise, actually you might look, maybe they look very soft and innocent, but they're not someone to be messed with. I feel like this person does have very good foresight. So perhaps with this person, again, they're always thinking ahead. They might always just look like they're in their head, that they're thinking about things. There's just something very specific about their appearance that's almost like they're dreamlike, they're in another world, but they're paying attention. They might be more of an observer more than someone who actively like takes action. I feel like perhaps there's always action going along in their head, and they are like a muse, or they're always looking at the world as a muse, but again, there is something hidden under there that you wouldn't quite expect. With the Fool here, there is something youthful about the appearance. They appear young, sprightly. Perhaps they appear younger than what they are. It's given like Page of Pentacles or Page of Cups kind of energy to their appearance. There's something very youthful, again, their skin, they might look younger. I feel like their skin is very soft, very subtle, very clear skin, and very dreamy or big eyes. We have the Hawk Prince here. Spirit communication, paying attention. Yeah, it's almost like they're always in their head, or they always look like they're thinking. It sounds weird to talk about this foreign appearance, but I feel like a big part of their appearance is that they always look calm, or like they're in their head, or that they're in some kind of like meditative state here. They always look like they're thinking. They might not be much of a talker. They might just do. I feel like when they do make movement, it's like their actions speak louder than their words, that kind of person. Again, very Venetian, very connected to Aphrodite here, and young energy. I don't think it's immature, but again, I feel like there is something underneath that you just wouldn't expect about this person. I feel like a lot of people might underestimate this person. This person would be what is considered in society an underdog. People might not expect much out of them, or might just think that they're always daydreaming in their own inner world, but they have some great ideas, or maybe they produce some great art. But specifically when this is linked to appearance, again, there is something kind of hidden here that you just wouldn't expect about them, because perhaps on first appearances they appear this way, but again, it's almost like they're hiding something underneath. Or that there's an illusion over something. So again, it's giving the energy of perhaps this person does look really soft in their skin and in their hair, and perhaps they are very petite in their frame, or smaller in their frame than what you would typically expect. However, perhaps they're a really fast runner, or they have a great athleticism to them that you wouldn't expect, because perhaps a lot of people think that this person perhaps even maybe looks docile, or like just looks in their own inner world. And I don't mean that in a negative or offensive way, but perhaps they just look, perhaps people mistake them for being meek, that there's not really much going on to them. However, I feel like in their mind and in their soul there's a rich inner world, there's rich inner movement and inner fruition and abundance. And this person, perhaps their movement is like really unexpected here. With the moon, something about their appearance, they might appear calm, but perhaps they're very strong, and you wouldn't expect that they weightlift, or you wouldn't expect that they would be a fast runner, because it's like atypical to the average norm. Again, there's something about this person that's more in the mind. This person is very much more in their head and in their soul than in their body. So perhaps they have a hard time connecting to their body and grounding into their physical body. Perhaps they are always appearing in this like state of meditation here. Again, we think of meditation as closing the eyes and looking within. So there is something like within this person that is unexpected, that maybe the appearance doesn't quite match the personality. And I'm not saying that as a negative thing. I feel like it's a really nice surprise. This is obviously your forever person. This is someone who you love. I do feel like this person is a romantic. Maybe there's something quite traditionally romantic about this person in the traditional sense. Almost like Cupid's got the bow here, and this is you two just like love struck here. So I am seeing that, you know, you do love this person's appearance, but again, perhaps there is something unexpected about it. With the grove here, yeah, it can almost mean something unexpected or something hidden. Grove, it's usually referred to as being a grave, something hidden underneath the ground, underneath the soil and the moon. Perhaps there is something a little bit darker about this person's aesthetic here with the moon. Again, things being hidden and in the dark, and grove is in grave. There is something here that is like darker or under the surface. So perhaps this person has darker hair, darker features. I am seeing, you know, black hair here. I'm seeing the black cat here. This woman here has like very dark brown hair here. And, you know, the male here has dark brown hair. So I am seeing that their hair colour may be long and dark, whether male or female. Or again, it just has more of a shaggy or wavy appearance to it. I'm not sure if that's focusing. I'm not sure why it's not doing that, but it may have more of like a wavy appearance to it. Sorry if you can't see that because of the ring light. It's just not focusing. Focus. Again, we have the dark wolf here. Again, there is something contrasting about this person. Light and dark. We have the silver wolf here and the dark brown wolf. I feel like the appearance doesn't match the personality. Or the inside doesn't quite match the outside. It's not what you would expect. Again, it's hidden, but it's a nice surprise. You like this surprise. It's very nice. Like there's a hidden romantic underneath there, especially with the muse. This person might be into art. So if this is a female, they might really love expressing themselves with different kinds of makeup. Or, you know, if there's a male, they might really like expressing themselves with nail varnish, perhaps like dark nail varnish. Or expressing themselves in their hairstyle or their clothing, always changing up their wardrobe. Again, it's given like a bit of a black cat energy. It's safe and it feels calm though. It's not like unpredictable chaos. It's just like there's something that's a nice surprise that's hidden here, okay? And the guy is garden. There's something about them that looks fruitful or abundant. This person might wear a lot of darker colours. I'm specifically getting greens. There's a lot of like greens and blues in the card. So they might have green or blue eyes. They might have a green or blue aura. If you're someone who can see their aura. There is something abundant about this person. And again, with the Venus in Taurus energy, Venus in Taurus is very much, someone who likes to indulge. So they may have a very specific taste in their clothing. They might only like certain types of clothes, or they might wear more expensive clothes. Or there is something that is almost... there's an artistic flair when it comes to their appearance. Again, they might always be changing their hair or their makeup or their clothes in some way. Venus in Taurus, it's linked to food and it's also linked to fashion. There's something soft and supple about the appearance. I don't feel like there's anything sharp. It's giving very strong divine feminine energy, regardless of gender here. But again, there's something youthful, like Cupid. Think of Cupid as being like... traditionally the cherubs, they're predicted as having very like supple skin. So there might be something that's very curvaceous about this person, or very soft again in the skin. I'm just getting like soft edges to the skin or shoulders. I just feel like, again, there's something that I'm being drawn to the skin here, and something that's like underneath the surface. So it's like maybe the appearance just doesn't quite match the personality in some kind of way. There's something that you unexpected here as a nice surprise that you don't see straight away. Something very calm about this person's demeanour. Perhaps they're not very much of a talker. But perhaps they always show you with their actions. Perhaps they are someone, because Venus in Taurus, it rules physical touch as a love language. So perhaps this person is always, the type of person that would touch your forearm or touch your leg when you're sat down or across a table. And again, there's a connection here to the skin. So like skin to skin contact, or warm skin or soft skin. It's like giving like baby skin or baby face. So perhaps this person has like quite a baby face. And I do feel like they are very, very attractive though, no matter what their gender, no matter what their you know, appearance is. It is very attractive here with the romance. It's almost like they, you know, they can sweep people off their feet, not just because of their appearance, but because of their actions as well. I do feel like they back up their actions with movement, and you know, they always pay attention. This is the type of person that would pay attention to your likes and your dislikes and buy you nice things. But the things that they buy you, it'll be of good quality. They might not show you with their words, for example, but they might paint a picture of you, and to them that is something that they have put great thought and effort and time into, and creativity, to gift you something of value, of high value. I feel like there is something of high value with this person. This Sky's Garden reminds me of the Nine of Pentacles, of like independence and independent wealth. So there might be something about this person that is possibly like well off in their appearance, or they just look very rich and abundant. They look very well put together. You know, this might be the person that is like, oh, you're wearing that, that's so beautiful. And they're like, oh, really? I just threw it together in a couple of minutes. But it looks like they spent a lot of time and effort on their appearance. They might shove their hair up in a bun if they're a female. But people might be like, oh, how did you do that? That's such a nice bun. It looks like you spent ages doing it. And they're like, oh, I just did it in like a couple of minutes. I watched a tutorial and just did it. It's the type of person that is like very creative in their appearance, and like seems to get away with doing things haphazardly, you know, like, oh, they just threw the hair up in a ponytail, but it just looks really nice and it looks really put together with their outfit. They might, you know, if they're a male, they might have like put together an outfit, and people are like, oh, that looks really smart and expensive, and they're like, oh, I got it from the charity shop, it was secondhand, but you know, it was really good quality, it was a really good find. Actually, this is really expensive, brand new. Again, there's something very, perhaps even like thriftful about their appearance, thrifty, but it looks well put together, it looks creative. Again, there is something that is expressed in their appearance that's very individualistic in their style, and I do feel like you like that. Again, even something about them may appear ordinary or under the surface, but there is movement under there, like they're always thinking, I don't know, there's something like very creative about the way that they put their outfits together randomly. I can't seem to get away from the skin element, something about their skin, or even like their hair. It feels very soft to touch, very wavy even, the hair, darker hair, again, perhaps blue eyes or green eyes. Again, there is something darker about the hair, or darker about the aesthetic, blues and greens, very earthy. It's giving browns as well, blue, green, brown, something very earthy. I feel like this person is very calm. This person is very calm to be around, just very, they're very chill, they're very laid back. They're just musing right along, right? They're chill, they're laid back. People might underestimate them, again, because of their appearance, but again, there's something under the surface. So let's go ahead and have a look at a star sign for this person, what body part you might be more attracted to, or what is very noticeable about them. So let's go ahead. We have Aquarius. So Aquarius rules the shins, the ankles, and the calves. And we do have movement here with the horse. So I feel like this person may be a runner. They may not look like they're a runner. Again, there might be something about their personality even that makes you think that they would just be like, oh, you're so chill. How could you possibly be like a fast running athlete? Like, you're so chill, but then it's like maybe they take this so seriously. So I feel like this person perhaps has very nice strong legs, shins, ankles, or calves, or perhaps there is something about this area that you are drawn to. Again, it could be strong calves, it could be strong shins, it could be tattooed shins or calves, or something about this area that looks strong, it looks lean, it looks able, it looks very nifty, I want to say. So let's go ahead and have a look at your... now these are going to be very specific. Not all of them are personalities. Some might be like where you meet this person or clues. So again, if you don't resonate with all of them, that is okay. Just take what resonates for you. They might not all be for you. So pile number one's appearance, please. Pile number one's... Oh, a lot came out there. They all jumped out. Yeah, we have soft edges. Literally, I cannot make that up. There's something very soft about this person. It feels in the face like a soft, round face or soft, round eyes. A soft, round appearance. But again, then they might have those really strong legs. They might be a runner or an athlete. Or they might, I don't know, there's something about the legs and movement. I feel like they run or they do something. We have north. So this person could live to the north of you, or you could meet them in the north. Somewhere, a holiday destination or somewhere north of you. We have has armor or a shield. Right, okay, so this one comes out especially when it's related to my spirit guides. Again, there might be something on the outside that is hidden. It has armor or a shield. They shield something about their appearance, or again, something about their appearance or personality shielded. It like doesn't quite match up. And even with Aquarius in general, Aquarius can be a little bit rebellious. It can be the wild card. So there is something about their appearance that is unexpected underneath the surface, or that they hide. Again, with the moon, there is something hidden about their appearance. Maybe they just like, maybe their personality is like quite shut off. Or there is something that they hide, again, with their appearance. It's really interesting how that keeps coming out, that something is hidden or shielded. So perhaps even spirit won't tell me what this is, but again, there's going to be a nice surprise there. That they look calm, but there's movement underneath, you know. We have musical instrument. So perhaps there is something quite ethereal or musical about this person. Again, quite creative, quite artistic, very Venusian, very Aphrodite, very into the arts, very into the riches of lives. This person also might eat a lot of fruit, I'm getting. Think of like apples and pomegranates and rich fruits. Or they might paint things like that. They might paint nature, or they might go out into nature a lot. They might hike. And that's why they have strong legs. Or they might do rock climbing or something like that. But we do have musical instrument. They might play an instrument. They might play a piano. They might play a guitar, violin. Something very ethereal and almost it's given like Peter Pan energy, you know. We have camping. Yeah, this person might like being out in nature trails or camping, and their legs might reflect that. Again, think of camping as like earthy colours, you know, brown vest jackets or even hats and things like that. They might be quite hidden or covered in their appearance or wear things like that. We have hip-hop, so they might listen or like hip-hop music. They might create hip-hop music with a musical instrument here. Perhaps they're like a music producer or something like that. We have black hair. I did say earlier, it does seem that they do have really dark brown hair at the minimum. So they could have darker hair. And wear darker coloured clothes. We have rock, metal, grunge. So this person might enjoy hip hop, rock, metal, or grunge. There's a few different kinds of arts coming out here. Again, something about their appearance. We have Aries. Now, Aries does rule the head, the face, and the cheeks. This person might have like ruddy cheeks or again soft cheeks. Their face, if we've got soft edges, their head or their face might have soft edges. And I'm thinking of soft hair too. Soft, dark, wavy hair. We have works under a company or a person. So they might not be an entrepreneur, but they might work for someone else or for a company. So they probably are not self-employed, but they might do something under someone else. We have west. So we have north and west. So this could be northwest, just north or just west of you. Could also be a last name, West. We have mysterious, yeah. I did get that with the moon. There is something like very mysterious or shut off, or even perhaps this person just looks really unapproachable. Maybe because they look in their own head, or they have a darker aesthetic, or perhaps they look like they're observing in the corner. Perhaps they're a bit more of an introvert in their appearance, and even possibly in their personality. If you've watched my personality reading, what I did before, but again, I feel like there is a bit of a romantic underneath. There's something very fresh about their energy, something very mysterious and hidden that you like, but again, very calm, very meditative, very maybe a little bit rebellious and out of the box in their appearance, and something that they shield. Perhaps their personality kind of shields the rest of them, but when you get underneath, you see these soft edges that you really like, and you see the movement. You see that then they're not just this observer. Actually, they are this creative person. They're an intelligent person, and this person has a lot to offer. I feel like this person is your safe place. They feel like, arms that are safe to be wrapped around in, or touch that is safe. Again, someone who might calm you, especially when you're feeling in a bit of a storm. If you're having a bit of a sad moment or an anxious moment, they might gently put their hand on your leg, and, you know, it really calms you, this person. We have work orientated, so I do feel like this person is a hard worker. Perhaps they are often quite in their work clothing, and when they're not in their work clothing, they're a bit more relaxed, a bit more of a camping vibe, wearing earthy kind of colours, earthy kinds of clothes. But we do have work out here twice. We have master guide. Yeah, okay, so this is from my guide. So again, this person does feel they feel very strong. There's something soft yet strong about their appearance. Again, I feel like people underestimate them, or they are like an underdog. And Master Guide, when I pull that card, it usually means that they are the leading guide. It's almost like they have the potential to be more, or to lead, or to be an entrepreneur, or to do more in their work, or to do. They have the potential to push boundaries, but they choose to be more introverted, or they choose to be more pulled back, or they choose to be more restrained. So people underestimate them, and I feel like that's both in their personality and their appearance. We have eyes. Yeah, there's something very intriguing about the eyes here that you love. Yeah, that you're drawn to. Big lips. This person may have big juicy lips that you really like, that are drawn to. We have practical. Yeah, there's something very practical about this person. Again, think of camping. Camping gear is very practical. Their work gear might be very practical to what they do. There's something very chill but practical about them. I don't feel like they get done up often, but when they do, they look really good. And everyone's after them. It's like the Cupid bow, you know. We have jawline. I'm feeling like it's soft. Around the jawline and the face is soft. There's soft skin there. Or curvaceous. This person might be more curvaceous, but again, the eyes and the jawline, you are drawn to the face and the head. Again, it feels like there's a lot of energy going on around the head and around the third eye chakra and the crown chakra. We have Libra, and Libra does naturally rule Taurus as well as Venus. Again, something very Aphrodite or Venusian about this person. Something very rich, like very... Maybe this person perhaps loves shopping in like vintage clothes shops. Think about how you might not go there often, but when you go there, you go and get something of quality, of value. It feels like this person really delights in the arts or the vintage nature of things. This is the type of person that would not dress clinical in white, or just in like plain basic clothing. This is someone who would wear something detailed or intricate, or an intricate piece of jewellery, or an intricate necklace, or something meaningful. There is something very purposeful about their appearance in terms of how they dress. Think of someone who would... you'd go to their house and they would have vintage throws, or vintage pieces of cabinetry, or vintage drawers with the detailed knobs, that, you know, the drawer pullers, the knobs that would be on there. This is someone who appreciates good quality, who appreciates nature, you know, Gaia's garden, very connected to Mother Earth, very in there. They do have a feminine side to them. The moon is also the feminine sign. You know, the sun is the masculine. Gaia's garden, we have Mother Earth here. We have Aphrodite here. So there again, there is something very soft and ethereal about their appearance. It possibly giving like Tinkerbell vibes, or Peter Pan vibes. And again, Peter Pan syndrome, very youthful, both in body, mind and soul. Yeah, they might look younger than their age, or they might come across younger than their age. They might be into like kids' cartoons, or they dress younger than what they are. There's something very chill but laid back, but again very practical about them. I don't feel like their vibe is show-offy, but they do like the finer things in life. They appreciate good quality food. They appreciate good quality clothes, but again, they might only buy them or indulge in that ever so often. Okay, there's something very meditative about them, very calm, very peaceful, and that translates into their into their appearance, very chill, very, perhaps even... It's like they could push the boundaries, but they don't. They choose to be more reined in. They choose to be more laid back in their appearance. And then you might find out that they can play an instrument, but maybe they don't show off that. Or again, there's something hidden here. They have armor or a shield around it that you don't see. Maybe you just see the soft edges of that. It's a bit of an illusion at first, this person's appearance. And again, there is energy here drawn to the crown chakra, the third eye chakra. So I'm not really getting anything more for you, pile number one. I really hope that helps. I'm sorry if that was a little bit confusing with this moon energy here going on, but I tried to narrow it down as best as I could. So please consider subscribing if you like these videos and would like to see more of them. Drop a like and hit the comment section down below on what you would like to see next. I'll see you next time. Bye, pile one. Hello there, my pile number twos. If you picked the Dude Abides number 20 card, this is going to be the reading of your appearance of your forever person. We're not just doing a future spouse, we're doing your forever person. So please remember to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If there's something that, you know, you're just not vibing with, or you know that you would just never like this person, or that you would never be with someone like this, then just take it that it's not your reading. You can pick another pile. And, you know, if nothing is resonating at all, then it's probably, the message is probably just for someone else. So we're going to start off with your Tarot and Oracle, and then we are going to finish with some more specifics. Again, those are really specific. So take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Now, the first thing that's standing out about your forever person in their appearance specifically, is the fact that this person seems almost a little bit chaotic in their appearance. And it's very thrown together. I feel like this person, even in their personality, has a little bit more of a chaotic energy to them, or an upbeat energy, or even a little bit scattered. So I feel like the way that they present themselves is also a bit like that. There's something about them that when they dress, it almost feels thrown together last minute, or it feels very, again, last minute, like, oh, I just threw this outfit on, or it might not even always entirely match, but for some reason this person seems to pull it off because it's just very them. I feel like there's something a little bit unconventional about this person, in terms of this person is very strong. Okay, I will say that. Physically, we have the resolve here, we have the hunter, we have the survival here, and again we have perseverance. I'm seeing a lot of, some of my sage dropped on here when I was cleansing this space. There is something that's very, I can't tell if this person is obedient in the way that they dress and present themselves, or they're rebellious. There's something very contradicting about this person. Maybe they dress like the norm, but again their personality is very chaotic and against the norm, or vice versa. They might be a very, you know, obedient, law-abiding person, as we all want or should want. Again, we have the Dude Abides and obedience here. There's something that's very, perhaps very to the norm, but again, then they dress and their appearance, it's like against that. It's almost like someone's calling their bluff, you know, or they're calling other people's bluff. It's almost given an energy of there's something a little bit rebellious and a little bit chaotic about them. Perhaps people don't always see it at first with that obedience here. Do you see how she's blindfolded? It's given me the energy of the Two of Swords here. So there might be something about this person. It's very similar to pile number one. So I'm not sure if there's people here that was torn between 1 and 2. There might be messages in both. But there is something here about the appearance being more obedient to society. I feel like they might dress, or they might look like they're everyone else, like they fit into the crowd. They fit into the crowd. The Dude abides. He abides by the laws. He abides by the social expectations, by society's norms, by society's, you know, quote unquote trends. They might look trendy, like they're in with the crowd, but again there is something perhaps about their personality that might be a little bit more rebellious with that chaos energy, or there is something about it where they try to be obedient, or they try to follow trends in their appearance, but there's something about it that's almost a little bit chaotic. It doesn't suit them. Perhaps it doesn't suit them being sticking to the status quo, because I feel like they do have something to offer. There's something about them that might look very abundant. The Ace of Pentacles talks about opportunity. I feel like this person does have a lot of opportunities in terms of their appearance, so they might frequently change how they dress. That might be, they might have a lot of choices. I don't know, the Lovers talks about a choice, and specifically when we're talking about appearance, they might have a lot of choices or a lot of options, or they're like, I don't know, they just might always try to be changing up their wardrobe. They might follow the trends here. But it's almost like they're calling their bluff on it though. They're calling other people's bluff on it. Because again, perhaps there's something about their personality or appearance that like doesn't quite match it. Again, that they always like change it. It almost feels like I can't pin this person down into their appearance because they change it a lot. But there's something about them that's very strong. Perhaps this person has very strong hands or arms. I'm specifically drawn to the fact that we have the Ace of Pentacles here with the arm and hand, and we have the two hands here. So perhaps there is something about this person's hands or arms that is very strong. We have the Hunter, the Resolve. Again, there's something very strong about this person, even on this card here with the Resolve. Do you see how these skeletons, they're holding up this girl here? So there's, again, something about the arms or lifting. This person might look that they're strong in the arms. Look how this female on here, she has toned arms, she's holding the sword, she can wield the swords. But again, there's something very balanced about the arms. And here, the Desert Prince, holding again another sword in the hands. This person might actively do weight training, they might do karate, they might do taekwondo. They might do mixed martial arts, I'm getting. There might be something about them that looks a little bit rough around the edges. A little bit of survival mode, a little bit of chaos. Their hair might frequently look windswept. Or it might frequently... Yeah, I'm kind of getting like a windswept vibe to the hair. Do you see how her hair kind of like looks a little bit windswept, like she's been fighting? Or, you know, his hair, again, the wind is like... I don't know if you can see it on the card, but the wind is kind of like pulling out some of the hair at the front here. So there might be something like windswept about the hair. This person might notoriously always be late. I kind of getting that with the Wheel of Fortune and like that the windswept vibe. The Wheel of Fortune traditionally, when we're doing a tarot reading, it talks about karma. It talks about divine timing as well. Like it's time. So this person, I just feel like this person might always be late. Always be late. They might do some kind of like activity though. I do feel like this person has a hobby that is related to the arms, whether that is painting. It feels more athletic. It feels more like a sport. So it could be rugby, it could be tennis, it could be basketball. It feels like mixed martial arts for a lot of people here. They feel very fiery in their appearance, very like put together. Obviously, you love their appearance. This is your forever person. So again, there's something that's almost maybe even a little bit unapproachable about this person is what I'm getting. I do feel like the hair is curly or wavy, or again, it's windswept. I feel like the hair is longer, even for a male. All the males here have long hair. But I feel like you are most drawn to the hands, the forearms, the fingers. Again, there is something strong about this. I feel like this person could power lift or weight lift. So perhaps this person has broad shoulders or an athletic kind of muscular vibe to them. Whether male or female, this person does feel like they are muscular. They could possibly have strong arms or abs, or a strong torso and arms. It feels like I'm drawn quite heavily to the upper body here. If this is a female, I still feel like she has toned arms. I almost feel like as well, if this is a female, she may have a bigger chest or a more voluptuous chest. I have to be careful with what I'm saying here. But again, it feels like, I just feel like this person looks good. Even if they've like thrown their outfit together, it's like they look good, pile number 2. Like, she looks like she just had some like robe wrapped around her, but she looks good. It's accentuating things in the right places. And she might have no idea what she's wearing right now or no idea what's going on. There's almost this energy of like, I'm late to the party and I threw this on, but I feel good and I look good and I'm dressed in red and people are drawn to me, people are attracted to me. This person might have a lot of like options in terms of love. A lot of people willing to pursue them. They have a lot of choice when it comes to love because they're abundant in what they offer. Specifically, again, we are talking about appearance here, but in what they offer, they are abundant in that. But they might call people's bluff quite a lot. I don't know, people might just be attracted to them for their appearance a lot of the time, but it's like, but they know that they have more to offer than just their appearance, than just their looks. They know that they have something great to offer here with this Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, there's something here about like divine timing, always being late, but again, they look good. Oh, I just threw this aftershave on. It was the last one I could find. Oh, I just threw this outfit together. I had nothing else to wear, but they look good doing it. It's almost like they give this energy of like last minute rush. I feel like this person smells good. Their aftershave or their perfume smells really good. I am getting that from this energy. But they might always look like they're in survival mode. They might always look like they're rushing around, you know. Highly active, this person. Very physical as well. Highly active, the hunter. They might have a lot of people pursuing them. Or they know that they have the choice and the option to pursue other people. But they call people's bluff on it. Because I feel like a lot of people may just be attracted to them for their appearance. They are very traditionally attractive. Again, there's something like very conventionally attractive about them. They abide. It almost feels like they are obedient to the laws of what is traditionally attractive. But their personality is very rebellious. And they're like, well, I'm going to call your bluff on that. I'm going to call your bluff. I might look all sweet and innocent, or I might look very traditionally attractive. I might look a certain way. I might look like trendy and obedient and like I fit in. I fit into the popular crowd, or I fit into society's ways of fashion or trends. But this person does feel very rebellious, even maybe a little bit defensive at times. Very stubborn, very fire energy, very Leo, life of the party. Even a little bit Aquarius or Sagittarius energy I'm kind of getting here. A little bit chaotic. Perhaps the lone wolf. Something about them feels thrown together in a very aesthetically pleasing way. Yeah. I feel like maybe a lot of people judge this person for just being like the pretty girl or the pretty boy, or oh, they're just the pretty face, but there's a lot more going on underneath the surface. They are actually a little bit more daring, a little bit more rebellious. Even if their outward appearances appear like they abide to the societal norms and that are quite well balanced or even well put together, there is something actually they're a little bit of a, not a troublemaker, I'd say, under the surface, but a little bit more daring, a little bit more bold than people would expect, and it's almost like they call their bluff on that. We have Jupiter in Gemini. So perhaps this person, again, there's something very flighty about this person. Then this person might be a quick talker. You might be drawn to the hands and mouth. They might be very animated when they speak as well. Geminis rules the hands, the arms, and the nerves, as well as the throat chakra. So again, there might be the way that this person speaks and animates or tells a story. It's almost like they're the center of attention when they're telling a story because they're animating the story. Or they always have something in their hands. They're like fidgeting with something. This isn't the person that stands quiet in the corner with their hands in their pockets. No, they're getting in there, they're talking, they've always got like a drink in their hand at seeing at social events, and they're talking with their other hand, you know. Or again, they have strong arms. It's very like chaotic but put together. Very interesting. Very like, I threw this together last minute, but I look and I smell good, you know. Because it doesn't matter what they wear, they could wear a bin bag and they'd still look good because they are traditionally attractive as per societal's norms and rules and values, you know. What society values as attractive. They could wear anything and they'd still look good, you know. They have a lot of choices and options when it comes to love. There's a lot of people who would be after them. This person might have a bit like of a player kind of energy or like a boiler bunny kind of energy to them, to their appearance specifically. I'm also getting a lot of reds and oranges. So I feel like there's something warm about this person. Either it's a warm skin tone or it's a warm disposition in their personality. Like people warm to them very quickly. But they also might wear a lot of warmer colours. So specifically reds. Think of like, you know, a gorgeous woman wearing a red dress here. Or again, we have a lot of oranges here and a lot of reds and oranges here. And even the background here, there's something about the sun setting. So they might have like amber tones to their hair. They could be a redhead. But even if they're not a redhead and let's say they have brown hair or darker hair or even blonde hair, there is something golden or there is something like it has warm undertones in the skin, tanned skin, or wearing warm clothing, so oranges and reds. They might connect to people through their root chakra or their sacral chakra. Sorry, I couldn't say that then. There is something very sexual about their energy. It's very passionate. Yeah, people might view them as like, oh, you're just a player. Like there's something very sexual about, or sensual about the energy of it. Lots of golds here. They might wear gold, or they might wear a lot of jewellery around the fingers or the hands, or bracelets. There's something like very rich about that in their appearance. They might appear very stubborn as well. Like they abide and they're obedient to themselves, and that's what they're going to wear. Like, that's what I'm wearing. I'm persevering with it. I'm stubborn with it. There's something a little bit stubborn about the appearance. Like they might have a favorite kind of outfit that they love to wear, and they might wear it in different colors, but they love that one, and that's what they like. So that's what they're going in. They might have a favorite dress, and they just want to wear that one dress, or they might have like a favorite shirt, and that's their favorite shirt for every event, no matter what. And they're like, well, I like it. It's almost like the dude abides, you know? They're obedient to that. They're obedient to themselves. Well, that's what I like. Maybe sometimes they are a little bit oblivious to how other people view them. I do feel like there's something very lucky about them. They're very lucky. They're very blessed in their appearance naturally. I don't want to say that they take it for granted, but they're almost like, maybe they don't realise it at times. Like they don't realise how attractive they are. They don't realise how much attention that they're getting from other people. They don't realise always how they're coming across. Because to them, they're in like their own little world, their own little survival world. Perhaps a lot of people think that they might make false promises, that they might appear that they're not very trustworthy to a lot of people, just based on the fact that they seem a little bit flighty. They seem a little bit, they're the type of person that would go around the room talking to different people. A lot of people might actually misjudge them as like not being of very high substance or very high value in terms of like their personality. But if you've seen my personality reading that I posted previously, you would maybe already know their personality of your forever person. I don't think they're actually like that. I feel like actually their appearance and their good looks might be a disservice at times. It might almost be like karma. People like misjudge them, or maybe think that they're an underdog, or mistreat them at times because, oh, well, you're just a pretty face, you know. But actually underneath, I feel like, they do have a very good ethic. Or they're in survival mode. They've had to fight to where they are. Maybe they haven't just been given opportunities. A lot of people might mistake them for, oh, you've been given the silver spoon in life. You're lucky. This person might be more wealthy. But it's almost like they call their bluff on that, and people's expectations, people might be blinded to that or blindsided to their truth. We have a lot of 10s here. So yeah. Stubborn and hardworking underneath. Maybe they've had to fight a lot. They have a lot on. A lot of... It's given like 10 here. We have a lot of like 10s, the hunter. Perhaps they always feel like they're being hunted. They always feel like they're in the spotlight, and that is like karma to them, or a burden at times. They always have to have a lot of resolve. They've had to fight to where they are. There's something that's like a fighter energy within them. And in their appearance, again, perhaps a little bit rough around the edges. In their hair, or again, it's very last minute. They haven't just been given things in life. They've had to take opportunities or take things for themselves. Or perhaps they've had to abide to society's expectations and rules to have opportunities. They've had to pretend to fit in, or be in survival mode, or even offer false promises at times to get in and to be the person that they are today. There's a very like survivor energy about them. Perhaps this person like hasn't had a great upbringing. I know we're specifically talking about the appearance here, but again, perhaps their appearance doesn't quite match the upbringing, or the appearance doesn't quite match the past, or the appearance doesn't quite match what's underneath, but they have to present themselves in a certain way. They have to look like they have resolve. This is given leadership energy, Leo energy. Perhaps they are a leader at work. So they have to present themselves as being this way. And perhaps it is even a little bit burdensome at times, or it attracts a lot of people to them. Yeah. There is some kind of compensation here. Either the appearance has to like compensate the personality in some kind of way. There's some kind of like compromise that they have to make when it comes to their physical appearance. Or they purposely make a compromise to call other people's bluff on it, because they don't want their appearance to be the center of attention. They want to be seen for their value and what they actually have to offer physically in, you know, in the physical world. They don't just want to be seen for their looks. It's almost like their looks or their blessing on their curse here with this Wheel of Fortune. There's something about it that like has to keep up with the times or the trends. It has to be like on trend or on time or on fashion. I talk about destiny and fate here. I am seeing that your connection is fated. And it's a gift. What they have to offer is a gift. Yeah, so let's move more onto the physical appearances here. Let's find a star sign for you. We have Virgo here. So Virgo rules the digestive system and the abs and the stomach. So again, I did say that this person could have a strong torso with those abs here, or, you know, the arms, the hands, the torso does seem to be prominent about this person. Again, these people both have abs. So again, this person, perhaps they have abs, or there is some kind of muscular or athletic appearance to them. Okay, so let's move on to your final ones. Again, these are super specific, so just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. The appearance of my forever person on my pile, number 2, please, Spirit. The appearance. The appearance. Okay, so we have, not all of them are appearance, but we'll see what they say. We have clothing style, yeah, so there's something very specific about their clothing style that draws you to this person. So the first thing that you probably are going to notice is their clothing style or how they are dressed. We have short hair. So for some of you, they may have shorter hair. I was picking up on windswept hair or longer hair, but for some of you, it could be shorter. Or shorter than average or shorter than usual. Perhaps when you meet them, it's shorter than usual. They have eyes. Something about their eyes is very attractive, or very, you're drawn to their eyes. I feel like their eyes are very warm. We have west. This person could be to the west of you. It could be a last name, yours or theirs. You could meet them when you're traveling west, or, you know, they come west to you or you go west to them. We have Virgo, so we do have Virgo again. There might be something that's very... there might be something that's a little bit clinical about them at times. Again, I feel like they have to dress a certain way, specifically when it comes to work. We had Virgo here twice, and Virgo is very practical. So again, there might be something quite obedient or practical about their appearance. We have abides and we have obedience here. Compensation. They might have to compensate something in their appearance when it comes to work, because of their job and how high up it is. We have animal lover. So this person is likely an animal lover, or perhaps they have animal style clothing. I kept getting Leo energy, so lions. They might really like cats or lions. We have farm or ranch. Perhaps this person has a bit of a Western style to them. Or, again, it's giving Texas energy. Perhaps they love that kind of style, or like that lifestyle in general. But again, perhaps they have to be practical for how they work in terms of their appearance. Again, survivor energy. We have a slim build. Yeah. I feel like even though it's slim, though, it is muscular. It's muscular. They have abs. It's given like they do some kind of athletic work or practical work that gives them that even if they don't have a hobby or don't play a sport, they do some kind of manual labor or something with their hands or arms that makes them muscular in that area. We have wears jewelry. Yeah, so that did come out, that they could wear jewellery. Any more, please, Spirit? Any more? The appearance. I've got one more here. Good with finances, yeah. This person feels like, I don't know, the Virgo energy. There's something very practical about their appearance. Good with finances. I feel like they might do something like possibly manual labour with the hands or the arms. Or I do feel like they are slim, they're athletic. They might not necessarily have a hobby. If they do, I do feel like it might be like, again, as I've said, MMA or something like that. But it feels like they're good with finances. Whatever it is in their work, they're solid. They've had to take opportunities. This isn't just about appearance here, but if they are wealthy, they have had to work for it, and people again might mistake them as like, oh, it was just luck, it was just destiny, it was just fate. And whilst that may have been true, they have still had to work for it. They still had to show resolve, they still had to show strength, and I feel like that comes through in their appearance. They still had to abide by things and be obedient. They might have had a past which is chaotic, they might even appear chaotic or whatever, but there is some kind of compensation or something that they've had to sacrifice and persevere towards to be the person that they are. And I feel like that translates into their a personality, into their appearance, sorry. Again, they may be headhunted by romantic connections, but also opportunities and choices. They've had to make certain choices within their life and within their appearance to get them to where they are today. So that is your reading, pile number 2. I hope that you enjoyed that. Do consider subscribing if you enjoy these readings and you would like to see more of them. Hit the like, drop a comment down below on what you'd like to see on the next one, and I shall see you next time. Bye, pile number 3. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 3. If you picked the Time to Fly, number 44 card, this is going to be the reading on the appearance of your forever person. We're not just doing future spouse here today, we are doing forever person. So like always, just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If something just isn't sitting with you and you know that you would just never ever be with someone like this, or it's not your person, it just doesn't intuitively feel right, or you don't connect with it, you don't resonate with it, then it's probably just not your reading or not your pile. You can always go ahead and pick another pile. And if there's nothing there that you can resonate with, it might just not be your reading. There might not be any messages here for you today. So again, we will start with the tarot and the oracle with what came out for you, and then we will finish with some very specifics about their appearance. So we will try and get as deep and as layered as we can. And I do say that because I do feel like this person is very deep and very layered. Now, I have already done the personality, so if you haven't watched it already, I will drop it in the description so you can watch that one, of their personality. So I feel like their personality, it is very rebellious, and the cards that kept coming out for this, were of rebellion. So I do feel like specifically when it comes to their appearance, there is something rebellious or defiant about them. There is something that strays from the norm with the divergence. It almost feels like there is, the trends or the societal norms, or societal ways of dressing or being for that specific culture of wherever they're from, and they diverge from that norm almost defiantly, almost with rebellion here, with the Mars in Aquarius energy. And again, I do feel like that kind of matches with their personality. Their personality does feel very flighty. Even with this 44 here, Time to Fly, I kind of just feel like, they're happy doing their own thing. They're happy flying by themselves. They're happy, being very independent, being very individual. We do have the individuality here. So there is something about their appearance that appears extremely striking right from the get-go, pile number 3. I feel like you would not miss this person in a crowd. You would look at them. They're probably the first people that you're going to clock eyes on, because you're going to be like, oh, there's something really different about that person, or there's something very intriguing about that person. There's almost something about their appearance that becomes across as an illusion. It almost feels a little bit dreamlike here with the Dreamwalker. We have dreams, the collective good illusions. I feel like this person will only let you see what they want you to see, and I feel like that comes across in their appearance. Perhaps they even look a little bit guarded here with the Metal King. We have discipline, armor, boundaries, and we literally have the king here who is wearing armor, so you cannot see what's underneath. So perhaps this person, even in their personality, I know we are specifically focusing on appearance here, but I feel like their appearance is very aligned with their personality, because it almost feels like they come across as someone who possibly might even at first appear unapproachable. Again, there is something that is like, don't mess with me, I do my own thing. They're very much a lone wolf kind of energy. They might even look a little bit offensive or aggressive. I do feel like people might be intimidated by them. Now, I don't feel like necessarily they are an aggressive person, but I do feel like they are rebellious, and it translates in their personality to their appearance. This person, so whatever is normal or considered normal for their culture, they may go against that. So if it is not normal for their culture to have lots of tattoos, they may have lots of tattoos. If it is not normal for their culture to cut their hair short, they may have short hair. If it is not normal for their culture to have long hair, they may have long hair. Okay, so it's very specific to what their culture is or where they are coming from and their background. They are rebellious to that, or they are rebellious to the culture that they are living in. So for example, if they are someone who is British but they are living, I don't know, in Greece, they might not follow the Greek traditional clothing, and they might still stick with what they like because, that's what they like and that is individual to them. But I feel like, this person is very easy to spot. But they still only choose to show what they want people to see. So for example, this might be the type of person where they use their clothing as an art form of expression. So if they want to be hidden today in an illusion, they might wear more clothing. If they want to show off more skin, they might show off more skin. Do you know what I mean? Like, they choose what other people see of them, and they're very expressive in their clothing. So like if they're in a bad mood, they might like have a certain defensive vibe or certain specific outfits that they like to go to. If they're in a good mood, they might wear lighter coloured clothing, and it's whatever they want to appear to other people. It's almost giving magician energy here. It's almost like they wield the perception of other people based on their appearance. They can very easily change or manipulate their appearance like a chameleon to either blend in with the crowd or to go against it and to go against the norm. I feel like this person does heavily rely on their individuality to how they express themselves. I feel like their appearance is very important to them. I feel like the way that they express themselves is very important to them. It's what makes them feel more like them. I feel like this person is a bit of a trend breaker or a little bit of a trend disruptor. And again, I don't feel like they're necessarily aggressive with it. I don't feel like they're an aggressive person. But perhaps their appearance is a little bit jarring, or it's a little bit out of the norm. It's a little bit what people wouldn't expect, or it's very unique. And again, that is what is that stands out about them, specifically in their clothing or the way that they dress. But they can manipulate that. Like, they have full control. They know that they could wear anything that fits into a society, but they choose not to. They choose to stand out from the crowd. They choose to go against it with this Five of Wands. Again, it might even be a little bit defensive at times or challenging. We have the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. There's something challenging about their appearance, or that challenges the societal norms, or that challenges society's values or beliefs, because they choose to be themselves. I feel like very much their appearance matches their personality here. I feel like because their personality feels very individualistic, it feels very unique, it feels very Aquarian. And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is the wild card. Uranus, it disrupts the norm. Uranus is the only planet that spins on its side. It has to be unique, it has to be different. And I don't feel like they are this way for attention. I don't feel like, they're just dressing differently to get people's attention. With this King of Wands, they are very attractive. There's something very sexual and sensual about this energy that people are drawn to. It's given, a strong leader. It's given a strong vibe to them. But I feel like it just naturally matches their personality, and I feel like their personality is very rebellious. It's not meant to fit in. It's meant to stand out. It's meant to be the way shower. It's meant to ignite that artistic flair and ignite that rebellious flair in other people. If everyone just dressed the same and acted the same, it would be so boring, right? It would be so clinical. There's something very unique about this person that other people appreciate. Like, I wouldn't think to do that with that outfit. I wouldn't think to cut that top up in that way and wear it like that. I wouldn't think that. Again, there's something very unique about them that you would not miss in a crowd. Like, you would spot them straight away and think, that's different, that's really nice. It's good to have different things in society and different ways of being and dressing, because again, if we all dressed the same, in the same t-shirts and the same trousers, in the same uniform, it would probably get boring. We'd have nothing to talk about, or we'd have nothing to discuss. This person, their inner world is rich, and it reflects into their appearance. This might be someone who, they're just not afraid of being themselves. And again, you might relate to this. Maybe you are this way as well. So if this kind of sounds like you, this person is very much like you. They might be your mirror. There was in one of the piles, I forgot which one it was, I won't say or ruin it, for the personality, where I said this person literally is your mirror. So if you've come from that pile, this person might very much be like you, because they are like your soul twin or your soul mirror. I don't feel like they are just a soulmate to you. I feel like they are literally a reflection of you, just in another body. I think people might be intimidated by them at times because what people do not understand, they fear. And if people aren't understanding this person and their creativity or their wacky ways of dressing, sometimes people can find that intimidating and they can kind of like fight against it, especially people who are stubborn. But this person's appearance holds power. It holds power. They might be a leader. They just might be a natural born leader in their personality and their appearance. They might be a boss, or they might be, their appearance commands attention, no matter what. And it's not just because they are rebellious, but it's like almost like it's very striking. It commands attention. It commands respect here with the King of Wands. The King of Wands, though, very attractive. It's almost giving, King of Wands can be known as a little bit of a player. I do not feel like this person is like that. I just feel like this is their personality and it's reflected on the outside. For the other piles that I've done, I'm not sure if you was drawn to more than one, but, sometimes the personality doesn't always match the appearance. This person, the personality very does match the appearance. So it's like what you see is what you get with this person. They're very honest, and I do feel like they are very loyal. We do have Leo energy here with the loyalty. I always associate Leo with loyalty, but even the King of Wands, it reminds me of Leo energy. The natural born fighter, the natural born rebellious ones that will go against the grain, that will go against the norms. So when we're talking about appearance, there is something very against the norm about them. Something that challenges societal norms. But again, they have this illusion around them that they'll only show you what they want you to perceive. Maybe they can like pull the wool over people's eyes because they can present themselves as perhaps obedient or perhaps a certain ways at times. But I feel like they choose to express themselves in their clothing and in their hair and their style. They're very much like that. Perhaps people feel like they can't get close to them, or they feel like they can't keep up with them because they either shut people out, or they might seem unapproachable, or they might seem very like in their own world, very much like in their own head and their dream space, very much, in their own little world, in their own little... I don't want to say that they seem up in their heads, because I feel like they're very down to earth. They're very engaged with the other people around them. There was a pile I did, I won't say which, but there was a dreamlike element to them. They seem like they were in their own world. This person, it seems like they do have a vast inner world and that they're in their own little world, but they're very much in the present moment. They're not just an observer on the sidelines, because they command attention, so they get attention, so they then interact with that attention. But again, even if they're getting attention, they'll only say what needs to be said. They'll only give people what they want them to perceive. This is the type of person that has a very deep, rich inner world, perhaps always transcending norms or transcending generational curses, perhaps even very spiritual. But it's like when it's time to fly, it's time to fly. They'll go. They'll leave the conversation, or they'll only said what needs to be said, or they'll only be spoken to. But when they do speak, they're very charismatic. There's something very charismatic and appealing about them. And I do feel like as well, there's something very nostalgic about the appearance. This person could remind you of someone from childhood, or they still dress in similar things to childhood. And they're like, well, why would I change it? I like it, I don't feel like it's childish. I don't feel like they're literally out there dressing in cartoon characters and stuff, or, they're dressing up in princess clothing. I just feel like they've had a certain vibe from childhood, and that kind of carries on. Again, there might be something that very nostalgic about them, or very comforting. It's very jarring, and it's very, maybe even defensive, but once you get to know them, it's very comforting. You actually realise there is a softer side to them. Perhaps their appearance is kind of maybe to put people off a little bit, push people away a little bit. But there's something about the inner child here that's very free, and it reminds you of the inner child, or your own inner child. Or like, people are like, oh, I wish I could dress like that. I love that. And then they're like, well, why can't you? Why can't you make your own inner child happy? Why can't you wear that? Why can't you do that? That's not just for children. Adults can do it too. What stops you from doing that? They like push the boundaries. They test the boundaries, especially in their appearance. And again, in their personality. It challenges. Because the Five of Pentacles, it can talk about poverty as well, or temporary financial hardship, a negative change in circumstances, or feeling left out in the cold. So people might just feel like left out in the cold by this person, but they're not though. I just feel like this person might be the type of person that is like, oh, I spent the weekend meditating and I went on this spiritual retreat and I actually met my spirit guide and we unlocked a generational curse. But then if they're at an event getting all this attention and people are really drawn to them, it almost feels like they're cut off from that. They're like, oh, well, I wouldn't just go up to this random person just because they're talking to me and tell them about that. Like, if that person asked them about their weekend, they would be very charismatic, very charming, very, oh, yes, it was great, how was you? Very defensive, very, like, almost, like, cut off from this conversation. But I feel like once you get to know this person, you realise that they don't have this, like, lack mentality at all. They're just very good at throwing an illusion. They're actually very individualistic. They're very creative. There's something that makes you feel very safe. There's something that makes you feel very like your inner child is safe with this person. Very nostalgic. For some of you, you could know this person from childhood, or it could be someone from the past. Now, that will only be for a select few of you. If you know that is just not going to happen as your forever person. It's that your inner child feels safe with this person, and that you're healing things together. You're healing together. But again, there's something very defiant about the appearance. The hair is kind of all over the place. There's some people with straight hair here, some people with wavy, so it is going to differ. The hair feels more brown, but it could be dyed darker. The hair could naturally be blonde or brown, but it could be dyed darker. For females, I am getting more of a blonde tone here. A blonde with like a little bit of a wave or a fringe, perhaps like bangs. For males, I am getting more like brown, mid-brown to dark brown. Here, in all of the cards. We have black here, but they may dye it slightly darker. Or it may have gotten darker over time. Anything else about the appearance? Yeah, there's something veiled, like they only show what they want you to see. Perhaps their clothing or their appearance is a bit more of a front for their personality. They might be very protective and guarded over their personality because they've shown that to people in the past and they've left them with nothing. It's almost like it's drained them of energy, or it's taken from them in some kind of way. Or it's been like, I don't know, they've wore their heart on their sleeve in the past and like people have just like misunderstood them. Or they've taken from them, or they've like used that. So now they have to be a little bit more particular in their boundaries and their armor and their discipline in what they give to people. Okay, so let's find a star sign for your pal. It's very clear and cutting edge, your person. I do feel like there is something very strong or divine about like the jaw or like angles. Something very angular about this person, a little sharp, not just in their appearance but in their wit. They're quick-witted, they're charismatic. They're attractive. We have Scorpio, yeah. They are a very deep person. This person, okay, so Scorpio rules the reproductive organs and the pelvis. So I have to be very careful with what I say on YouTube, but I feel like their reproductive organs, especially with the King of Wands, you find that very attractive. They may have a fuller chest if they are a female, or a fuller reproductive organ if they are a male. And it is larger, or larger than average. It is giving big D energy. And it's also giving, you know what I'm seeing as well with the pelvis? You know how, I don't know what it's called, you know how in males and even females as well, how, you know, if they have a very strong torso and it kind of goes in that V, like they've got a V line down the pelvis, and it looks very strong and defined. I feel like they have that for a lot of you. I feel like they do work out, or naturally, even if they don't work out, they just have a very attractive mid-torso, let's say. This person, again, very charismatic, very appealing, they have a lot of sexual energy to them. Whatever you find attractive, you know, the King of Wands is, you know, the attractive one, the charismatic one. It gives a little bit of player energy, but I don't feel like they are like that. I feel like this person likes to push people's buttons, though, at times. I feel like they're very funny, very charming. Very, like, jokey, very, like, life of the party. Yeah. But again, Scorpio rules Pluto, and Pluto rules transformation. So again, they might always be transforming their outer appearance to match what's going on the inside, to match their individuality. Whatever's going on the inside is reflected on the outside. So they might be a little bit of a chameleon at times. It might be hard to keep up with this person because they're always being very rebellious, very daring in their appearance, always pushing norms, always pushing trends. And again, they might kind of like revel in kind of being that outcast, that black sheep of society, or that black sheep of the family. I did have a pile in the personality one that was very much like this in their personality. They kind of push the buttons, or they push the boundaries of other people. They might like to wind you up in a jokey way quite a lot of the time. But again, this is your forever person, so you do love that. You do love that about them. There's something that diverges from the norm about this person. Yeah, they have a lot of like strong mental energy. Very quick-witted. It's given Gemini as well. But very persuasive. I feel like they're very persuasive. Very seductive. Very, yeah. It challenges people. Their energy challenges people. It challenges people's perception of them. It challenges people's beliefs. It ignites a fire or something within other people so that they dare to dress like that as well. Like, well, why can't you do that? They don't live inside a box. You can't box this person in. And again, Pluto, it rules death, rules transformation. Perhaps they're always upgrading themselves, or they're always changing their personality. They're always individualizing themselves. They're always, individualizing their avatar. With whatever they're feeling, it reflects in their clothing that day, or their hair. If they're going through a bad time, they might be like dyeing their hair black or something. Or if they're feeling really fun, they might wear white for a change, If they're feeling very summery, they might decide to wear yellows, which might be unusual for them. Or again, in winter, they might dress differently to how they dress in summer. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know how people like kind of change their wardrobe a lot? With the seasons, this person is kind of doing that with their moods. So they're doing it a lot more dramatically, or a lot more often, is what I'm getting. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at your final messages. This person's appearance, pile number 3, please, Spirit. This person's appearance. What can we know about their appearance? Okay, again, so these are really specific. Not all of them are appearance related, but we will see what comes out. We have mysterious. Yeah, this person, again, it's almost like they're wearing some kind of cloak, even energetically. You can only see what they choose you to perceive of them. And if they want you to perceive a certain way, they're very good at like veiling that. We have hip hop. This person might be into hip hop music, listen to hip hop music, or dress in a hip hop kind of vibe. Perhaps they're, we have male, so we do have masculine energy here. This person could be a male, but some of you might be watching for a female as well. They could still dress like this. We have average build. Average build, but they've got that V line going down, I'll tell you that. They might be an average build, but when it comes to their reproductive organ, that is above average, I feel. Or they're just very good at that. The King of Wands is someone who is very good with the sexual energy. So even if they are average sized, or they, I have to be very careful what I say here on YouTube. They use it very well. Not everyone likes a bigger energy like that. West has come out in every single reading. I'll talk about that in a second. Again, not everybody likes bigger energy down there, but what they do have, they use it very well. They're very sensual, very it's a giver energy, they're very much a giver. But you do feel safe with this person. Even if they have that, their intimidation with what they try to do with their appearance, it doesn't, you might feel that you're very much the same, so it doesn't really wash with you. You kind of know what they're doing, or you're very similar to them. Or again, something reminds you of childhood, or it might remind you of someone from childhood. We have west, so this person could be to the west of you. They might have to travel west to get to you, or you might have to travel west to meet them. It could also be a last name. That's come out for like every single pile, and I've like, look how many things I've got. We have hair. There is something about their hair that you find very attractive. So whatever you really love on a person, whether male or female, they have the kind of hair that you desire or that you like. We have starseed or astral being. Yeah, it's kind of giving Aquarius energy. There's something very ethereal about them, very like out of this world with a dream walker. Very unique. We have winter, so you might meet them in winter. Or you could be with them in winter, or you might meet them this winter. We have good with finances, so this person might be good with their finances. It's giving leadership energy. We have short hair. Again, that come out for the last one as well. So people might be watching multiple piles here. For some of you, you might really like short hair on people. So that is a confirmation for you. Or they might have shorter hair when you meet them. We have introvert. This person might naturally be more of an introvert. And they kind of dress to like keep people away from them. We have mysterious. I am going to get a few more. Some more, please, Spirit. More about this person. Their appearance. Anything? Loves science or FBI. This my person might really love like sci-fi, or they might really love like true crime or something like that, or those kinds of TV shows. We have wavy hair. So we have wavy hair, short hair, and hair. So it's definitely something about the hair that you are drawn to. And all the males here, they do have wavy to curly hair. We have small lips. So this person might have smaller lips. We have stoic. Yeah, there is something that is very like guarded about this person, and I feel like it does translate into their appearance. But there's something about them that feels very familiar. This could be someone as well that you have a soulmate or a soul mirror connection from a past life. This Six of Cups can talk about something from the past. So if it's not your past in this lifetime, it could be like you know them from a past lifetime or a previous lifetime. A very strong soul bond and a soul tie here. We have strong legs. This person could have strong legs. We have hourglass figure. So for a female, they may have an hourglass figure. Again, very attractive, very sexual, very, charismatic. We have 50 plus. So for some of you, this could be an age, but it could be a matter of weeks. Meeting this person in, 50 plus weeks. I don't feel like it's months. I feel like it would be weeks. So there's 58 weeks in a year. So this would be around about the 10-month mark. So they could be born in the 10th month. You could be born in the 10th month of October. So they could be a Libra or a Scorpio in their sun, moon, or rising. Or again, you could meet them around in October time. Libra or Scorpio season. That would be heading towards winter. But perhaps you finally connect with them in winter. We have angular features. I did say at the beginning of this reading that I do feel like they have angular features specifically around the jaw, or there is something angular about them. Again, it feels sharp, like boundaries, armor. There's something sharp about them, something sharp and lean. So again, perhaps a sharp nose or a sharp jaw. Or again, perhaps their body type is sharp. Perhaps they have like, again, that sharp V in the torso leading down to the pelvic area. We have curly hair. So again, we have wavy hair, curly hair. Again, a lot of the hair imagery coming out here. We have female, yeah. So for some of you, this is a male. Some of you, this is a female. I do feel like they are very balanced in their masculine and their feminine energies as well, is what it feels like. There's nothing that's really come out about the eyes. What could their eye colour be, Spirit? It's kind of mixed here. The eyes that I can see are all different. We have brown eyes here and blue, so I get this is going to be different. I feel like there's a range of people here. But the hair does feel darker. Darker for males and blonder for females. Or if the females, they might dye it blonde or bleach it blonde. But there's definitely something about the hair here and the angular features and the way that they present themselves. Again, very stoic or... yeah. Rebellious. Their appearance is rebellious. We know that for sure. Yeah. Person, they might just look like they've been through a lot of struggle. They look a little bit rough around the edges, a little bit angular, But very attractive, very charismatic, very persuasive, very funny. So there's something very scorpionic about them, that you just want to get to know them more. You want to like fall into them. They're a very deep person, very rich person. But maybe they do come across as a little bit flighty at times. Like it might be very hard to get to know this person at first, but once you do, you're in for life, you know. There's something is very solid about them. They kind of like march to the beat of their own drum. So that is your reading pile number 3. I really hope you enjoyed that. Please do consider subscribing if you enjoy these readings and you'd like to see more of them. Hit the like and drop a comment down below with what you'd like to see next time, and I shall see you on the next one. Bye, pile 3.